Why are you not working? There you are. Thank goodness. What the hell is going on here? I don't need to know. I don't need anything else making me look so. I'm crouching now. What the heck is going on? Oh my goodness. Well, let me get an audio check in here. Hi everybody. There we are. Okay, we're good. Okay, let's try this again. Hello everyone. I hope you're doing well. I'm doing great, as you can see. Yeah. Great start. So tonight we're going to be preparing to head out to the deep desert. When I do that, I like to, if I'm going to go out in the deep desert, I kind of want to stay out there. So that's on deck tonight. It's going to require us to make sure we got the proper supplies, got everything ready that we need to go. Hi from Spain. Holy cow. Hello. How are you? I think you might be the first person from Spain. I got some European people that watch. But hey, glad you could catch it. But yeah, we're going to make sure we got all the stuff we need, the supplies, and that we're ready to go. We'll go over building the base and getting everything set up. And I'm actually going to hold off. I'm not going to go out tomorrow. Normally, that's what I would do. Like I said, I like to... what's up, Odd? How are you doing? Good to see you again, too, buddy. I like to make the most of it. But most of the time what happens, since I do Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, you guys don't get to see the actual build-up or the building for the deep desert base. It's not that it's that exciting, and what I'll probably do is I'll go over a little bit here on how you get it set up and where you want to go, and then you'll catch the tail end of the building process. But so I'll do that on Wednesday, so expect that from Wednesdays. I'm a Brit retired out here in Spain. Lucky me. That's awesome, though. Never been to Spain, never been to England. Would love to go, though. Would love to go to either one. Yep. But before we get to all that fun and excitement, let's take a look at what we did over the weekend. So we had the final double XP and the final 35 mnemonic recollection bonus. This coming week is the final week of the anniversary event, and they have stated that they are not going to boost us to 35, which honestly I'm kind of glad, because wow, man, I've done way more Landsraad missions than I ever wanted to. I'm kind of glad it's over. But we had a couple goals that we wanted to reach, and let's see what we did. We hit them. So the first goal we had was we wanted to get gathering up to this 58 for this corpse volume. And of course, the yields are awesome. They're good, obviously. But we really wanted this corpse compression just because for running death stills, corpses are the biggest volume that you have in the game for a single item, and takes up a ton of space. Now, if you've been boosting your exploration, you'll be getting that backpack volume increase, so it's not quite so bad. But if you haven't, sometimes just your normal gear keeps you from being able to pick a guy up, and if you do, it's pick this guy up, take him over, pick this guy up, take him over, pick this guy up, take him over. It's one at a time. I can do multiples now because the bodies are half. So instead of 75, it's like 37. And I've got extra backpack volume. And then I was also commenting on this, and I was like, oh man, I have to get rid of all the bodies that are in my boxes, because from this point on, when I pick up a corpse, it's going to be half volume. Everything that I already have isn't. Tried to switch them out, like drop it, pick it up. No, apparently when the corpse gets made, volume gets set. So I was like, oh, well, I'm going to have to use all of them. And I was thinking about different ways that I could do that. Like I could, for the deep desert run, I have death stills out in my deep desert base, so we could bring them out there. And I thought about maybe shutting off my wind traps so that I don't make any more water, and then queue up a bunch of productions and knock it out. And then I was like, dude, why are you worried about it? Like, it'll happen eventually. Who cares? It's not that big of a deal, man. So I realized that I was just kind of sweating over something that it's a real small thing. So it'll happen eventually. What I will do, though, is for any of you that ever worked in retail, you know what first in, first out means. So I'm going to definitely make use of any bodies I have. I'm going to get the bigger ones out so that the smaller ones will start coming in. But this was where we definitely wanted to hit, and we did it. So yay. The second thing we wanted to hit was here. We wanted to make sure that not only did we clear the worm threat, get our cool little helmet that we'll never wear, we wanted to hit 77 so we could get this extra slot increase. In addition to the backpack volume capacity increases, which was great, we went from having open spaces but not enough volume to having way too much volume with not enough open spaces. So this 5 is going to definitely help. We ended up going a little crazy, got some sandstorm damage, got it up to just past 80. And then finally, this was just whatever we did. So we hit our goals during a double XP event, as long as you kind of keep it sensible. It's not that bad of a run. Tired of doing missions, though, I'll tell you that much. Speaking of missions, let's take a look at the Landsraad itself and where we ended. So the only swatches I'm missing are from the sabotage group. So we'll get them eventually. As far as items that I wanted to get, we didn't see anything here, didn't see anything here, or this one. Finally, we found something that we would get. This was because we were doing exploration missions. Wanted to hit 10.5, we hit 11. Pretty good. Here with House Waku, I didn't really want a perforator, so I was happy with 7,000. Got 73. We didn't do them or that one. Didn't do that one or that one. Here we stopped paying attention, got a little crazy. No, actually we didn't. Talagary was one I was missing in the exploration group. So we ended up knocking that one out, I think. Doesn't seem like I was missing. Anyway. But yeah, we went all the way to 14 and just knocked that out. Didn't do any of these. Here, I don't need their swatch, so 10.5 was perfect. I don't know how I hit it exact. Whatever. Argus, as we were just putting points to put points, it kind of sucks being at 34.13 with 35 being the next mark, but you gotta rotate your stock. Exactly. Here with House Divets, we ended up going to 10.5, got our advanced machinery, which is great. We just put one mission into this because it was the only one that was open. I think that's how we got our little bit of voting power. Here with House Sita, we hit 84. I don't really care about the Idaho's charge, so I'm content with where that landed. Here we got ourselves a set of hummingbird wings. Yay. Always go for those when I see them. I have several sets waiting to be made, so I probably don't need to do this, but it's habit, so I do it. Didn't do these guys, and I'm going to skip the next one, and we're going to go down here because there's nothing for House Thorvad. We're already done. House Spinet. Good old Spinet. I'm at 76.13, which looks like I could stop. I do not have, because this is sabotage, I don't have this swatch, so I technically need to get that. And I need roughly 7,000, about 6,500 points. I have 5 missions available. These are the ones that just cycled today. They're going to be worth 125, so whatever. What I'll probably end up doing, since you guys have seen me doing tons of missions, although you don't see me doing these very often, but I'll probably just do all of them there. That's going to give me 50 something. So I'll do my 5, and then I'll probably end up doing a free mission just to get this to 14. And then the only ones left is going to be House Rashish, Bernius, Wydris, and finally Mutelli. Once I get those done, and what I'm going to do going forward is I'm going to knock one of those out every week. So by the end of July, we'll have that done. But there we go. That's where we stand. I'll do those missions later, though, because we got much more importante things that we have to do. We're a little stuttery. Storm coming. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to make sure Hagga Basin's set and good to go. When I go out in the deep desert, I try to stay out there. We will make trips back to Hagga, of course, but for the most part, I'm going to be out there. I'm going to stay out there. There's plenty of things for us to do. What's prompting this is we're at about half of our spice melange storage and half of our plastanium. I've used some and I've sold some. That's where I get most of my money. And just in materials, repairs, etc. stuff. So it's been a long time since I've been out in the deep desert, and I kind of like that, to where it's not something I have to keep going and keep doing. The other reason is because a lot of these little guys that I'm missing, not important, but I want to do it. A ton of these, especially down here in the plastanium section, are from either testing stations or crash ships or shipwrecks or caves or some of the places out there in the deep desert. There's even a few in this section that I know I have to get out there in row A. We get 5 missions per day. Yes, we do. 5 missions that count towards the XP for your skills. Yes. You can do however many missions you want, even if you don't have the recollections. We'll jump ship here real quick. Like, for instance, when this number gets down to 0, I'll keep going. It's just this won't happen. I won't get this anymore. And when you finish the mission, this little claim reward will not be there. But this will still go. You'll still get general XP, and you'll still get Solari credit. And this number here, where it says personal contribution down in the bottom right-hand corner, will continue to go up. So even though it looks like I'm going to fall short with House Spinette, I'll do the 5, get my little points for them, and then I'll end up doing another mission that I'll still get the 1,000 contribution, and that continues to go up. So these are only for skill specialization XP. You can do Landsraad missions as much as you want. You could just sit there and spend the entire week doing nothing but Landsraad missions. You just don't get this button to claim the reward, and you don't get the crafting XP or the gathering XP. So, and you can save them up, and they do roll from week to week. For instance, the maximum is 35. So I have 5 right now. If I don't do any, tomorrow after the weekly reset, I'll have 10. And if I don't do those, then I'll have 15. It will carry over week to week. You don't have to get them done. The only time this really matters is like the last several weeks with the event that they were giving us the automatically putting us up to 35 wherever you were. It was better to be at 0. That way you were getting most of the missions out of the way. But yep, you can do these as much as you want. This number will continue to go up. But yes, so spice, melange, plastanium we are running a little low on. The other thing is the some of these guys that we need to go get. And I like to try to get stuff before I run out. Right now, I could probably go another 2 or 3 weeks at this rate without needing to go back out to the deep desert, but I'd like to go out there before I need to do it. I'm still doing it when I want to. And since I like to go out there and make sure I stay out there, a couple things we got to do. First off, these are my big wind traps, and they are all 100% full with filters. So they can go a total of 5 days, 14 hours. Now, these things used to run nonstop, even when your water tanks were full. But they said that's kind of silly. So they made it so that when the water's full, they shut off. So that 5 days is 5 days worth of running, 5.5 days worth of running. And if I'm not here using that water, they're not going to run. That 5 days is going to stay exactly where it's at, which is good. What I will do, though, is I will fill up on liter johns of water to take with me to the deep desert, kind of get that kickstart to get things started production-wise. And so this water here will come from it. But I just want to make sure that I've got a whole bunch of filters in all of my water traps. The next thing we want to do... wow, this game is unhappy tonight. Next thing we want to do is make sure we got a bunch of time on any of our generators. Right now I got 29 days, so I'm going to walk away, leave it the way it is, and only doing it for the skill points. That's what we're all doing, man. Well, I'm going to do one for freezies, but yeah. Oh, so we're actually in good shape. But I will show you what that would require if we weren't. And also, oh, it's something about the corner. I think it's all my lights. That last update kind of wreaked some havoc with me. This box down here is where I keep my spice cells for the spice generators that are downstairs. So I want to make sure I got plenty of this, plenty of that. And in fact, got some sitting here because I turned this on before I went to bed last night. There's 1,000 in here before it maxed out. So somewhere I've got more. Set it up to make 1,500 fuel cells. We'll see how many we actually made. And nope, you're not empty. Let's go to the draft horse. You're not empty either. We'll put that down there. So I'm going to bring these guys over. And we'll go ahead and we will put that, since for some reason it was hiding. Boop. And perfect. Okay. So like I said, there was 1,500 that we set up. Now you notice it went full. Those things went somewhere. What I like to do is under my storage, you have these circuits here. This one is an inbound circuit, meaning where does this machine draw its resources from? When you click, when you queue up, I was going to say click and queue at the same time. It came out stupid. When you queue up to make some products, make some materials, where is it getting these from? Now, water doesn't have a circuit. Water's everywhere. In your base, it's everywhere. But this ethereal crystals, that's got to be somewhere. And for me, it's this box right here, which I have going in and out at circuit 1. So the stuff I need to make it is where it comes in, make sure that's on circuit 1. But why do I have this on circuit 6? So what I used to do is I would make a bunch of stuff, and then I would go off and have adventures and fun and excitement and go do great and wondrous and worthy things. And then I would come back and I would come up to a machine that would be full, and I'd be like, oh, I wonder where it put that. You would think that it would put it in the closest box that has space. That is not true. I don't know if it's the first box you made or what is going on, but it puts its stuff in some weird places. So to prevent that, I set mine to go outputting to circuit 6. And then over here, I have this thing that says MCR overflow. That stands for medium chemical refinery overflow. This box is where anything excess goes. And that is because it's set to both in and out circuit 6. So whenever I make something and it overflows and there's too much for the machine to handle, I know it automatically goes in here. It's got plenty of space. Just makes things easier to find. And you can do that anywhere. I actually have spice on a different circuit. I have the chemical refinery on the circuit 6, and then I also have a different circuit for the ore refinery. So when it's making stuff, it goes to a sensible place. We'll go back to the draft horse here real quick. Now, like I said, I set it up to do 15, and I've got almost 2,000, which is super awesome. That comes from the bonuses you get in your skill trees. I gotta find it. It's in one of these. There you go. So a chance to get extra resources from refining orders in the chemical refineries. The bonus yield chance is 30%. I have found one thing about numbers. We're gonna do some math here because that's how you get viewers and subscribers. If you do something, say this has a 30% chance. If you do it 3 times, mathematically, it should happen once. The smaller number of attempts, the harder it is to get that number. So if you do it 3 times, 1 out of 3 is what it should happen, but it may not. Because keep in mind, 2 out of 3 times it's not going to, and the way these numbers work is every time is a reset. If you do it 10 times, well, now you've got 3 chances of that to happen. And I don't want to get too crazy in this because this is general terms. But the more you do something, the more samples that you have of this possibly happening, the more accurate your results are going to be. And what I have found is that 30% is pretty close. A great example of this was I made 1,500 and I got 2,000, which means I got an extra 500, which is a third of the order I put in doubled when it was made. I was off by 10. So, but yeah, this is a great one to have. You just get more stuff from the stuff you make. What armor skin is that? It is this one, autopilot chest. You get that if you do testing stations at a very high level. I don't think it tells you though. One of them is 30, the other one is 40. I think the Thopter pilot chest was the 40. I did it once with friends. But yeah, that's what it is. It's for doing testing stations at an incredibly high level. Not really incredibly, but at a high level. So, back to what we're doing here. I pulled those over to the Thopter, and we're going to come in here and centralize this, and boop, boop, boom. All right, so the other thing I want to make sure is I have tons of this. This is the industrial lubricant. This is for my turbines that are on the roof. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. And they are basically an augmenting power. And I want to make sure that these guys are fully operational and ready to go. Thank you. You are welcome. Crazy, you got more than 30. 30 of 1,500, 450. Where's you got 490? Yep, I got a little bit extra. It gets close. I'm assuming if I did like 3,000, it would probably be real close to 4. But it's just been my experience with Dune. Because I'll be honest, I really like talking crap on Bungie. Bungie's numbers were lies, utter lies, horrible. You kiss your mother with that mouth lies. If they said there was a 5% chance of something happening, it was a lie. Their math was terrible. Dune, pretty reliable math. So far, from what I've experienced, it's pretty reliable math. But you can't ever... what's the word I'm looking for? You can't write off those amazing moments. For instance, come on, man. This item right here, this thing is a las gun, and there's only one place you can get it from. It's in the deep desert in the A2 or A3 row, deep desert testing stations. Got like less than 1% chance to drop. And on my second attempt at that thing, I got it. I know I don't have it here because I gave it to somebody who needed it because I'm a nice guy. But yeah, there are some wondrous things. But for stuff like that, for production bonuses, it's pretty accurate. So we're actually a little bit low here. I'd rather this box be really, really full. So let's go ahead and make some of this. This also prevents me from coming back and being like, oh crap, I got to make a bunch of stuff. I can make a ton. And we're going to go ahead and make a ton. So that is going to be way more than I should have made. You get 10 for each one, and I queued up with that. I'm going to get 10,000. I made a mistake. Oh, I made a horrible mistake. Okay, so this is terrible when you make a mistake like that. Because if I cancel this, these guys, to make this, you need spice residue, you need silicone blocks, you need fuel cells, and you need water. If I turn that off, all that stuff has to go somewhere. And guess where it's going to go? It's going to be flopping all over the ground. There is no way to fix that. You know what? We're just going to take the hit. So I'll show you what happens. So let's say you're an idiot and you click over to make like 1,000 of something and you're dumb, like I am, and you want to cancel it, right? So am I on a private server? No, I am not. Done something silly like that before too. Yep. You know what? I'll probably do it again. Don't get me wrong. But no, I'm not on a private server. I am on Odin in North America. Never been on a private server or hosted or anything. Okay, so let's take a look. Here's my backpack, right? I've got quite a bit of volume from all those bonuses, but we're going to cancel this order. And I'll show you what happens. Now you can see the storage filled up with all sorts of silliness. I'm surprised actually it didn't land on the floor. All of that stuff should now be in here. It's not. It's right here until it filled me completely up. So what we'll do is we will drop all of this stuff off right there. I am really surprised. Oh, that's why. Yeah, it's in here. Let's go ahead and we'll make use of the draft horse again. And we're going to go back here. And we'll just dump everything into the closest box that at least something belongs into. And let's set this up again, but let's be a little smarter. And we're going to craft an amount. And I'm only going to make, I don't know. We'll do 2,000, even though I already have 100 up here. That's way more sensible. And we'll go see where all this extra stuff went. Sandbike ain't gonna do it. Alright, so we'll put these guys here, and we're gonna actually make some running around trips. So once we get back to where those things go, we just gotta make sure we do it intelligently. But yeah, this is much better. Everything will be fine now. Overflow box has a little bit in here. That's because when we shut it off, it filled this completely up. So I'm just going to let this run, and we'll check back in with later. Boop. Okay, so we're going to come down here. The last thing we're going to do to make sure everybody's happy is we're going to hit our subfief, and we're going to refill the generators. When you do this here, it refills all your generators equally. So instead of having to run towards each one and do it, it just fills them all up at the same time, as long as you have everything to refill them. So just make sure you got a bunch. This is only thing that's going to happen is it's going to go from 29 to 31. I don't technically have to do this, but I'll feel better inside if I do. So now I know the base has 100% on its fuel filters upstairs for the water, and we are at 31 days. I can go a month without having to worry about this again. And we're making the stuff that we're replacing, so all is good. This was my fuel cell box, and I don't have very much in it. We did pull a poopy and pull that over, but that's a little light. This is my spice residue box. Always have tons of this stuff. I don't know if we get too much of this when you're making stuff, or if they just don't have enough stuff to use this to make, but I can't make enough filters and generators and fuel things to use this. A lot of times, like, we're going out and we're going to do spice now. I'm already like, hello. I'm not gonna lie, most of it hits the ground. I'll just drop it or leave it out in the deep desert. I just don't need it. So there's something offset. There's just not enough stuff that this is getting used. And what I would hate is for them to adjust that or address that, and then me dumping it in the sand like an idiot. I saw a trick online where you put items in the storage of machines to stop items being stuck in there. I have one Solari. Yes. What that'll do is that would automatically divert it to whatever box you have set up for your output. And it's actually kind of a pretty smart thing to do, because then you don't ever really have to go near the machine. Can you sell residue? Yes. Problem is no one wants to buy it. In fact, here, I don't know how much of that you guys can see. Here's somebody else saying I have so much spice residue and it's hardly selling in the market. What do I do? And they're like, sell it cheaper, like 50 Solari. Make filters and sell those. Turn it into fuel. So, I mean, it's funny, like this person here. Can you see that? Yeah. I have like 20k residue in a box. Yeah, I'm right here with you. It's at 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 35, 40. It's crazy. I go to the deep desert with a shipping container and fill up 2 shipping containers full of batteries, so I'm good for a while. I think that's something that is somewhat overlooked. We're actually right now, because my fuel cell box is a little bit low, we're going to go out and get some fuel cells, and I'm going to use the buggy to do it, because, man, you can get a bunch. But going out to the deep desert, you'll fill up on fuel cells so quick. Holy cow, they're everywhere. It's one of the best places to go for them. The same thing with flour sand. Flour sand is better to get out in the deep desert, in my opinion. The reason I have that opinion is because, number one, the fields are the same size between Hagga and here. It seems that the worms takes longer to aggro a deep desert worm, and you get way more time to react. So you can go out there and just collect and collect and collect, and it's a much less stressful concept in there. Plus, you don't have to worry about things like drum sand or anything like that, and there is no competition out in the deep desert if you go out there in order to get flour sand. In fact, you might get laughed at until people realize what you're doing. Then they'll be like, oh, that dude was pretty smart. Into the Angers and like the deep desert. Yep. I don't want to say that that's true. I think it is 100%, and I agree with you. The issue, though, is I've never really tested it, so I can't say for certain. And I do get kind of scared about saying things like that, because people will be like, dude, you said this and it was wrong. But, you know, one of those where it just seems like it is, but yeah, the worms aggro much less. There are so many people on my siege now. We're going to say it's because of me. Everyone wants to hang out with me. I don't think I've ever met any of these people, actually, but I remember when I first got here, there was only like maybe 7 or 8 bases. Oh, there's people building. Stop shooting. Building on the spots I go for batteries. I usually come out here and get like 5 or 6 stacks and everything's fine. Ah, there's one. Heck yeah, 1,700 batteries per laser shot. Well, that's just funny. There's not as many spots. I don't know who did this, but good on you, dude. This is because this is actually just like a hole in the rocks. You shouldn't build on causeways because that's just kind of you know, you're messing with people, making people have to go around you and all that stuff. But this isn't a traversing area. This is just artistic. So I don't know who you are, but this is really cool. What am I farming in the deep desert this week? We are going after spice. We are going after titanium and strontium. And we are also going after a bunch of schematics. And we're going to be doing some testing stations. Definitely hitting the Forgotten Caves. That's where we're going to get quite a bit of that plastanium dust. And we're also going to do shipwrecks. So we've actually got quite a bit of stuff to do. Yeah, if this was a deep desert, I'd probably pass 20. Very close. The next one that does that's getting shot back. That turning the other cheek stuff is, we're done with that now. There we go. Yeah, I would have passed probably 20 or 30 fuel cells. Really? I know you guys saw that where it was fine. And then all of a sudden it wasn't. We good? Bunch of junk buggy parts. I assembled a buggy for body farming. There you go. Hey, G, how you doing? Mechanically, the aggro is the same. The difference is the patrol area of the deep is so much larger. It's more often than not too far away to generate increased proximity aggro. Okay, well now you have just added something to what I'm going to say is going to be a full-blown scientific study. Since we're going to be out in the deep desert, we'll go ahead and do that. Although we may not know the specifics of it, it does seem that we're all of a pretty well consensus that you have more time, and time is how you turn zeros into ones. So I might have to go out in the deep desert because there is just no fuel cells. Okay, so this guy, you know, this is a transition area, but he left space. You didn't have to build here, but you know what? When you did it, at least you were decent about it. I've seen where people have completely clogged areas and you can't get through. That was in the old days. They were really nasty about it. Funcom being nasty about it. They would be like, "Nope, that's it. You're gone. You don't get to play the game anymore." I'm slowly losing interest in this task because we are not efficiently doing it. But now, what is it yet? Maybe this week. It's a carrier. There you go. Oh, look, here we go. Did I get too close? No. Yeah, 5,000 fuel cells. It's pretty good. These guys usually mess with me. They're actually like barricades, but I think they're fuel cells. They're not. Ugh. And the main reason we're doing this, even though we're good with, you know, most of the supplies, I don't want to take stuff, like I've said before, you shouldn't go out in the deep desert if you're not able to lose your gear. If your gear getting lost, because it is a dangerous place, a silly place and dangerous, if losing your gear is going to set you back and cause problems, you're not ready yet. It would be better to keep running around Hagga, build yourself up a little bit, get to the point where you can replace things. I mean, yeah, you're going to end up, you know, using resources and materials, but it won't be devastating. It'll just be a little time consuming. What I don't want to do, boy, they're angry at each other. Normally, with these guys, this is some sandflies and I believe some masquerade fighting each other. And it's amazing. It's a testament to, I'm saying mine, but also I guess yours if you're playing this game, our ability to bring peace to the sands of Arrakis. Because if I go over there, they're going to forget their differences real quick and decide that I'm the point of anger. So we're not going to bring peace to the sands tonight. We're trying to find fuel cells. And I see some right ahead of us. Still hear them shooting. Oh my gosh. How we doing, by the way? Let's take a look. Oh, that was junk. Oh, here you go. So I've got a ton of salvage metal, and I keep getting salvage metal. I don't need it, and I also don't need micro sandwich fabric. I can't break that down. So what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna step out of the old vehicle. Make sure you do this in a place where you can't get shot up. And we're gonna access this, and we're gonna see. I have 93 on me. We're gonna see how much it's gonna let me pull over. I can pull over a whole bunch. Then we're gonna go to our inventory and we're just gonna drop it all on the ground because we don't want any of it. Then we're gonna accidentally get back in because we're supposed to be long pressing F instead. And I don't need this and this and that. Okay, perfect. And we can come back here. We can do a quick deposit, but it won't take this out. So we'll just go ahead and access it. Now, I'm also going to split this off because I like to have about 50 on me, just in case you have to build something for like a mission, that kind of stuff. We had the vehicle vendors. I stocked up on dampened treads. Nice. I have yet. It's been so long since we've had the vehicle vendor. Maybe this will be a secret. I don't know. I don't mind saying it. The Harkonnens took this by Sisselrad. They got 5 in a row, and they did it the first day. And they had the option of Honor of the Fallen, exclusive tool rights, or Chome refining contracts. It has been quite a while, at least 3 weeks in a row since the vehicle vendor has shown up. And with a loss to House Atreides, which is who I'm with, that means next week, starting tomorrow, we're going to get a bonus to our contributions. So any missions we do will be worth a little bit more. And if the vehicle vendor's in there, if the vehicle vendor's in there, we should make use of it. We got a storm coming straight at us. Can we make it home in time? I don't know. We're going to try it though. We don't do this. Bad things happen. If they ever put impact damage into this game, I hope they put it out like a press release or something, or community notes or something. They gotta let me know, because man, I rely on not being able to, not having to do that. Yeah, he's got hologram outside, no. That's neat, but you got to be careful when you do that, because there's a reason why they limit us on projections and lights, because it takes a lot of server resources and system resources. We did it. Oh, sandstorms caused my computer to have bad problems. But yeah, they use up a lot of resources. That's why whenever I enter my bases, I always stutter a bit. It's because of all the lights, so gotta be careful. This is my plant fiber. Look at it all. Most of this came from going out and doing testing stations, doing stuff and getting those microflora fiber things, the little tube looking bastards, and breaking them down because you get 2 fibers for each one you do. Shai told me that, and that was like a great day once I realized that that could happen. Okay, this looks a lot better. I could go more. Obviously, we're not even halfway full, but this is fine. So as far as I'm concerned, the home base can handle me not being anywhere near it for a week. It can handle much longer, much longer. Not unlike the randoms, forgive me, but does the chosen decree last all week? Yes, all week. So like right now, you'll see, oh,
Sector weather alert.
You'll see that my crafting costs were reduced by 25% because we won last week. We did not win this week. And that was all week. So if I wanted to make spice, in fact, I think I can make some right now. You'll have to excuse me because between the system, the stream, all my lights, and trying to play the game, life gets horrible. Yeah, as you can see here, I only need 7,500 spice to make a batch. And if I turn this sucker on, we can actually make one because I've got 9,000. So let's do that. It doesn't make this go any faster, but it's 25% less. That's substantial. You can make 4 batches of spice for what normally you can make 3. We'll call it a win. Okay, so now that we got the storm up, might have blown over already. Nope, it's still there. We're gonna go nice and slow. Now we're not going slow anymore. So I built this base with this hangar before I had the carrier and the crawler and all that fun stuff. So we had to make a second, much larger upper hangar for this. I know I've overbuilt, but that's how I like to roll. Some people make very squat and very compact bases for their stuff. What I do is I've got a big hangar for the old girl. I know it doesn't matter. Man, it's sore. I just don't like my wingtips sticking out of my doors. It doesn't matter. It's just a visual thing. As long as the body of the vehicle is inside a base, shouldn't be taking damage. But I don't know. I just don't like the way it looks. It's my game. It's my base. I can do what I want. So up here, I have a little spot with a pentashield on here that I can grab this sucker with to take it out. This cargo container was a huge improvement. Huge improvement. Because we used to only have, the only option we had was to carry it with an assault. And assaults actually used to not carry as much as they do now. Working on the story so I can unlock it. Yep, exactly. But that was rough. That was really rough. Most of the videos I did earlier on, like I did a whole series about building the deep desert, the combo base that I use, that was designed to try to be as few trips as possible, but still you'd have to do 2 or 3. Now you could fill up a cargo container with all your materials, and you can usually get it all out there. A 2 size, 2 square base, you can get in 1 trip. It's beautiful. Love the cargo containers. But as you can see, that was weird. I just got some silly stuff in here. Got a carrier ornithopter engine and sandcrawler PSU. What is this stuff doing in here? So we are going to come down here. Boop. And I've just got kind of a secondary storage type thing. We're going to empty all that silliness out of there. Yeah, we'll take it all out. And we're going to load that cargo container with everything we think we're going to need. Okay. So I have these 4 storage boxes, and in here I have, as far as I can tell, all the stuff I'm going to need for the base that I build when I'm out there. One of the issues with this, though, was some of these materials, because I didn't change the circuit, because we do silly things here on occasion, they got pulled when other things were supposed to be getting pulled. So I can't guarantee that I have everything that I need. So we're going to have to check into it. But it's not that bad. The first thing that we're going to do, I'm going to move these down. Oh, actually, I don't need to move these down. The first thing I need is a Solido replicator of the base that I build. I do, I call it the combo base because it can do spice, it can do ores. It just depends on what I want to do. And I found that that's the easiest one to build, just to pop it out there and get it going. It works for me because I'm not going to just go out there on a regular basis and just do spice or just do something. I try to do a little bit of everything out there. My deep door space, it's on its own circuit, so nothing gets pulled from it. Yep, I should have done that. And since I didn't, bad things occurred. So the first thing I need to do is actually this guy here. I've made several copies of this, and I have them stored in my downstairs room. But this one I'm actually carrying on me right now. So that is the first thing that I want to put in here. Technically, I could carry it if I really wanted to, but I'm not going out there right now. I got other stuff I want to do. I don't want to be carrying my silliness stuff around. The other thing that I need is I need a blank gun, because this one gets consumed when I make the base. So I'm going to make another version of this gun, but it'll be empty, and we'll put it in here. Then there's 2 other things I need. I need some staking units, both a horizontal and a vertical. Sometimes I don't have to use the vertical. Depends on whether or not I get the right placement. Sometimes I do. If I do, I don't care. So we're going to go make a new gun and some staking units. And that'll be our first task. To do that, we need some survival fabricators and an upgrade to our PC, apparently, or we gotta fix that corner. So, when you build a fabricator and then as you progress, you get to the point where you can make an advanced one, you probably aren't going to use the original regular one very often, except for the survival one. Here's where you can make all the great and powerful and super awesome crazy gears and cool things and all that nonsense. But here, man, it's terrible. Here is where you can make Solido guns and your staking units, base reconstruction tool. So I just decided to put them side by side, and this is the only standard base, whatever you want to call it, fabricator that I've kept. Well, that's a lie. I don't like lying to you guys. I also have a downstairs. I have the original regular vehicle fabricator, because you need like some, they don't have, even though I can make tier 6 vehicles, sometimes there's like scout thrusters are still tier 5 if I'm not mistaken, and there's other things. But what I need to do is I need to make one of these. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Takes just a little bit of salvage metal. These take a little bit of steel and a little bit of money. It's normally 1,500 or 15,000, but I still have that reduction thing. So I want to make at least one of the horizontal ones, and then one of the verticals. And then we're going to go into storage, and I'm going to select this deep desert transport, and I'll put the empty gun right beside the good gun, and I'll put the staking unit right here beside each other. So this almost gets me to the point where I'm ready to build. The only thing I'm missing right now is a little bit of salvage metal to throw sub beef down. So that's the first thing we're going to do, is we're going to put a bunch of salvage metal in. I could probably use a restart, but we're too far along, and if I shut it down, I shut it down. So I do have a ton of salvage metal sitting in some of these boxes. So I'm going to go ahead and bring a decent amount over. I think this might be a little too much. I do have some regular generators, and of course the sub beef require the salvage metal. Also lights require it. So since I pulled from this and kind of messed myself up a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and just bring 2 full stacks of salvage metal. You can find it out there in the deep desert pretty easily, along with like fuel cells and granite, but I'm just going to bring it along. What's going on, Wired? Haven't seen you in a while. How you doing? With the helicopter on cruise control and listen to your favorite tunes. Go all the way out to I-9. Yep. You also need a 2020 grid to fit the advanced speed fabricator. First time I flew out 16K for deep desert. It must suck doing it in the carrier with its speed. Not bad. I mean, once you get used to making that run, it's, yeah, like he says, you know, throw your headphones on, man. There is metal lying around, but I like to bring it just to get the base set up, and then everything's done, and then I don't have to worry about it anymore. I've got so much of it, might as well bring it. So next thing we're going to do is we are going to get out of
Sector
here.
weather alert. A large sandstorm is approaching.
That's what we were missing, by the way. This box, I've got a bunch of plastone already made and some granite. So we're going to go in here, and that's going to be our next setup. This is extra. I think I've got about 500 extra. I like bringing that just in case. You never know what happens. Same thing with that. So this, for the most part, is going to get the structure done. The only thing I'm missing is some like weird stuff. Like we're going to need some servox for pentashields. We will need, what else is that? Cobalt paste for it as well. But this will get most of the structure built and at least some of the power on. From this point on, we're just going to take a bunch of this. That seems a little low. We might go finish that off, but that clears that box out. Let's see what's over here. This will be spice melange we definitely need. Here's some water pump stuff. So that'll be good. Let's go ahead and we'll just bring all of this over. We'll grab these guys, and I'm going to leave this for now, just kind of sitting right here. That's it. This will be a bunch of cobalt paste and some agave seeds for the decorations. This is for those pentashield doors. That'll be for machinery. This will be for machinery as well. Hey, look. There's some of those extra guns that I have. And finally, this last one is very important, but we're not there yet. So what are we missing? Let's see. We have no silicone blocks, and we're going to need those. I know just from building things that we need silicone blocks. That's what jumps out right away. That we should be good on both of those. That should be all right. And that. Okay. So we need silicone, but that doesn't weigh much. So you can see we're roughly at about 6,500 out of 15. So just building the base is taking up a bunch. Just land on rocks and jumping. They still did. I can't get away in time. The thing I hate about the storms out there, though, you'll get the advance warning before you see it on your radar. So which way is it? Like, am I doing left or right? Ouch, ouch, got my pants stuck. So what I'm going to do now is each one of these things, we're going to top them off. By this, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and switch this out. So instead of bringing $17.99, I'm going to bring a full 2,000. Instead of bringing 1,516, we're going to bring 2,000. This, I don't think I need that. That will probably drop on the ground. We'll fill that one back out. So I'm just going to make silly little runs through all these, ouch, all these different little areas. Dude, that corner, man. That corner is wicked. And there is a little bit of back and forth running. This is what happens when you don't turn the circuits off and you pull from stuff that you shouldn't be. So we're just going to slide this right over here. Now that's 500, and that should be good. We're going to slide on over here, and we're going to probably take a full line, just in case. I don't know exactly how much my base now uses of this, but I'm feeling pretty good about that. Here's a couple other things that we're going to talk about. I use out in the deep desert, I use spice-filled generators, or spice-fueled generators, and I use the units on top, wind turbines. So I need to make sure that I bring enough of these in order to power that base for at least the week. I like to fill it up so I don't have to worry about it. I'm not sure if 500 is going to get it done. Let's do that because that bothers me. But it should get it pretty close. And I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to split this one. That way we're bringing that amount. Oop. Oop. And keep in mind that we're making a bunch more. In fact, we got that this too. Usually 100 will get me through a week per unit, and I have 5 of them. So we are going to bring 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, and 5. Generator systems are ready to roll. Let's go down here and we'll pick up some more ores. One thing I always do is whenever I do this and I say to myself, okay, once we get out there, we're going to build, we'll get an idea, everything extra, bring that back so that you don't have to do this next time and you know exactly how much you need. I don't know, probably a dozen times I've gone out there with that intention and have yet to do it. When I get out there and get everything built, I'm just like, let's go get stuff. We're not here to carry things back unnecessarily. Let's go get things. And then this is what happens. But there's worse things, I guess. You should be good. I'm gonna bring more of these, and we're gonna get these guys topped off as well. We're still at 76, so that's in pretty good shape. think this was like 4 something that we've got. Yeah. So we're just going to bring that over, switch that out. We'll call it a win. Perfect. For steel, we don't use much of it, so that's why it's an odd number. Or 10. Oh, wait. Yeah. 200. Let's just swing this over here. That'll take it to 5. That'll be fine. We got a bunch of iron. Iron is where? There it is. Not much. Dude. Perfect. So now we need to go downstairs to the place that I need to do better with. I started these like some of the boxes for some of the items, like for instance the spice residue, plant fibers, fuel cells. I got salvage metal, granite, plastone. Try to be as organized as I possibly can. But there's so many things in this game. There's so many items that we've split them up. I don't need any of that. Here we go. Here's where we need to be. It looks like I have a whole bunch, but keep in mind these are like 500. There's a full stack, and then these are just like little onesies. I just have them for placeholders. So we're not in as good a shape as it looks. But sometimes that doesn't matter. You want to just look super awesome. Let's see. We'll pull you over. That'll go to 500. Oops. Very little disruption there. Okay. And now we got a bunch of machinery. I'll pull this over, and we're bringing out a full stack. We're almost at 8,000. That's pretty good. That's good. And here's a box of just mishmash stuff. This is all the fun and fancy things that you get. I have not gone through this. But, So, like I said, I've been kind of bringing things up to a full stack, etc. I know I don't need that. 152. The only thing I use these industrial pumps for is for the water tanks, I believe. And I have not increased water tanks yet. So I think what we'll do is we will bring a few extra of these. Where did it go? Oh, it's all the way down here in the bottom. 225 sounds good to me. I really wish that I had aimed for that. Like if I had called that shot before I hit it, 225 comes out perfect. I just moved it over. All right. So we are looking, I think, pretty good. The agave seeds are for light fixtures. So even if I don't build them, I'm not going to freak out about it. The rest of this stuff is for machinery. Out there in the deep desert, I have a recycling unit. A repair station, a large ore refinery, a medium chemical refinery, 2 spice infused generators. I will have 4 death stills. I think 6, 8 water tanks. And then on the roof, I will have 5 of the larger turbines and a total of 6 wind traps. So that's what all of this stuff is for. Is building all of that. Technically, this will get our structure going and all the machinery inside built. In the event that it doesn't, it'll actually be okay because this is going to get us close enough. Like this will get things started. We shouldn't be missing out on any structure whatsoever. Yeah, we should be great. It's my little onesie thing here. I'll pull you up just for the look. Pull that up, that, there. This is just anal retentive alignment. But this should get our structure built and get things going. It's going to take a little while for the base to get rolling. Generating water, power will be right out of the gate. We have to go out and get some items, get some materials. Get 36 pumps of run at Sentinel. Could be missing some chests somewhere. Okay, how do I get so many pumps? Sorry, I just saw that. Hoju. Yes, I will buy them sometimes, but most of them I get from Sentinel City. It's a silly place. I used to hate going there because it was so laggy. They did fix it, but of course now with this last update, I am paying a price for something. But we'll see what we're doing. Now, from here on out, I have a couple things that I need to get. First, we need to break this bad boy down. I actually have, if I'm not mistaken, is it in this box? Yep. So I got a buggy here. That's also a Mark 6, just like the one sitting over there. But this has a regular buggy storage and a Mark 6 cutter array. Whereas this guy over here is a little bit more fancy because we have the bigger boot and we got a focus cutter array. So it generates more heat, but it works better. I'm actually going to break this bad boy down, stick it in the box, and I'm going to take it with me. When I get out there, I build it. However, this guy has seen some things. It's got a little bit of wear and tear on him. It's in relatively good shape, but I've been thinking personally that it might be time for a new buggy. Also, this one I built a long time ago, and these parts are all going to be 100% durability. With my crafting skill maxed out now, I can do so much better. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a buggy from scratch, and it's going to be just a deep desert buggy. I won't take it out of the cargo container from here going forward. If I do, I'll drop it down into those boxes that were down below, and we'll leave this guy here to do his thing. Yeah, I've got the materials. Again, this is whoa, that's weird. Part of this game is building yourself up to be able to do something, and then once you can do it, do it. The only issue I have with this is the vehicle backup tool. I've got quite a few vehicles in, so I'm going to have to make some decisions. If I do make another buggy, anything that you take apart and stick in a box doesn't count. If we're going out in the deep desert, I'm probably not going to need this guy sitting here. And I don't do Smuggler's Run for missions anymore, so we could leave that. The assault will make use of that. The carrier, we're going to build the crawler. Actually, let's see, what does it say when I pull that tool up? Because it does, like I said, limit you. All right, so I'm at 8 out of 10 vehicles right now. Let's do a count. Carrier is 1, assault 2, attack bird is 3, 4 for the thruster scout, and then 5 for sandbike. I couldn't speak the words. So there's 5, 6 and 7 because I have 2 storage containers and they're considered vehicles. And finally, the buggy. I'll figure out what's going on with this thing. It might be the port that I'm plugged into. I have to check that. It's also why the camera goes slow. Thank you for letting me know, IP. I appreciate it. But yeah, so I'm... No, it's not a time thing either. So yeah, I've got 8 out of 10 vehicles. Maybe we should do the 10 out of 10. Will be risky. You know, why not? Or I might tear this apart and do it. Worst case scenario, I could take my buggy out into the desert, deep desert. It's still got plenty of life. I just don't want to do it. I'm being lazy. That's not good. That's the kind of stuff that gets you killed, right? I can't see me using the buggy anywhere here right now. So you know what? Let's stop being babies. We'll take it out there. We'll get at least one more deep desert run. And then we'll think about breaking her down and building a new. Oh, I didn't even know I had this on. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to make sure you've got space in your inventory for breaking down a vehicle. And then we're going to break it down. Do. You come off. You come off. Up in a box upstairs, I have a Mark 6 tread. Too close. How am I too close for welding? I have a Mark 6 tread because I was doing this and I wasn't paying attention to the volume in my backpack. And when I took one of these off, it plopped down on the ground. And I didn't realize it. And then I went out to the deep desert and I'm like, why do I only have 3 treads? So I had to make another one. And then I found it laying on the ground. And I was like, okay, you're an idiot. So now we're going to run all the way upstairs. Once again. Something's up with that corner. And the phone calls. Okay. This box is basically a vehicle storage box. This is the crawler that I've been using. I have gotten a ton of use out of it. It got eaten once. That's why you'll see some hull damage, or chassis damage. But I brought it back with my recovery gun. We're just going to run this bad boy till she falls down, you know? So what we're going to do here is I'm going to finish off these last 3 little spots. 1, 2, and 3. Because you're going to want to bring some fuel cells with you. You can make them out there in the deep desert. You just need some water and fuel cells that you'll find. But I like to bring a good supply along so I don't have to do that. But we are going to place our sand crawler in here. And now I'm going to do this. Bring 2 more. We'll go to the backpack. And we're going to take the buggy that we just tore down. The first thing I want to put in here is the chassis, because that's the first thing I'm going to grab. What happens is if you do it the other way around, when you try to construct it, it won't let you do it because it's like, oh, you can't attach it to nothing. You got to make that. And I'm like, okay. So I just put this first. It doesn't matter, but it's what I like to do. And we will have the final run, with the exception of some of these parts, of our buggy. So we go down here. There we go. And we are good on spots. We're just halfway, and we just crossed the halfway mark as far as storage goes. So I'm going to just bring the rest of these fuel cells. One less thing to worry about. Let's move these up so that we're not surprised at what we're missing. And that, I think, is going to empty most of these out, right? Don't need those. Yeah, you can see I got a couple extra fuel cells laying around, but that's fine. And this is empty. So we are loaded up. At this point, all we need to do is fill this thing up with silliness. Maybe I'll bring some more fuel cells. Maybe I'll grab some of the welding wire I have. Yeah, you can make it out there, but I can bring it too. We're going to put some bodies in here because we're going to get our destills rolling as soon as we possibly can to start generating as much water. Plus, I want to go through them. Is it worth buying a crawler vacuum instead of just making it yourself? Buying resources more than my money. It's up to you, man. I mean, if you have the resources and you can make it yourself, go for it. And if you'd rather buy it, go ahead. It really doesn't matter. The only difference is the crafting. Like for me, I'm a 200 crafter, so it would make sense for me to build my own stuff, or at least make sure that what I'm buying has 200 durability, or what the durability is of it. Theoretically, you could buy used stuff that's like half beat up and still keep it, you know. All right, so we've got our buggy, we've got our sand crawler in there. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go downstairs to the morgue. And we're going to put a bunch of bodies to get everything started. And we should be in good shape. I don't know that I've ever said that and actually been in good shape. I usually have to come back to get something. It's goofy, but, you know, it is what it is. Let's go here and... That's how many we're going to bring out. Wonder. Just going to empty this box. We're going to empty the box. I've got a whole nother box full of dead people. Most of this is Masquerade. They know what they did. And we'll leave that here for that. Aero has no bonus in PvP. It does not. And then finally, the last thing we're going to do which isn't quite as important, and you definitely don't have to do this. I like to. I've got a bunch of my old leader johns, and like these are broken ones that I've gotten. As you can see, they're kind of beat up. I got an old set of rock wings that's beat up. I'm going to grab the ones that are in the best of shape. They need repaired because I normally don't do that when I come out. That'll work. So I've got 9. So I've got about 90,000. And what I'll do is I'm going to fill them with water here in Hagga. I'm going to stick them in that box and bring them out with me so that we can dump it in and get things rolling right out of the gate. Pretty much anything you do out in the deep desert, like if you're going out and getting the materials, it's going to take you 20 minutes to go out, find something. Like if you're getting plastanium or titanium, whether you do it in A or if you go out to the islands, it's going to take you 20 minutes or so. Even if you fill up your desk stills, they take 40 minutes. So you're only halfway through it. This way, get a little bit of a quick jump and off we go. Let's go down. Before we do that though, we're going to fix it. Boop, boop, boop. Very finicky. These are literally a... Aw. I was just gonna say they're use it until they break. This one is. Poor little guy. He carried a lot of water for us, folks. Alright, so we got one that's completely broken. I could use it, I guess, if I really, really wanted to. Wonder why it's broken beyond repair, because the other ones were kind of small too, right? No, I guess. Alright, we're going to put this here in the trash bin for recycling at a later time. So now I only have 8, so I'm bringing 80,000 water. That'll be alright. That's enough. And we're going to deal with the lag. We're going to come over here, and we're going to fill all our containers. And we're going to come here. And we'll drop these bad boys off. Perfect. Go to the deep desert transport and drop them back in. There we go. For the most part, I think we're ready. Let's take it from the top. So we've got our copy of our base that we want to build. We got an empty gun to make a copy of the base once we build it so that we can continue this process over and over again. What I will usually do is I make this, and then if I need to make any changes, and sometimes you do, like I ran for the same combo base for quite a while, and then I was like, you know what, I want more water production. So we moved some stuff around on the roof, got in, was able to fit in an extra wind trap, added 2 more desk stills, then I made the copy of it, and then that became the new base from that going forward. So what I will do is I will use this to make my base, and it gets consumed when you do it, and I'll hold on to this and leave it in the cargo container, and at the end of the week, if everything's the same and everything's fine, we'll take a scan picture of it. That way this gun will now get a check mark, and the next time we come out here, we're rock and roll, ready to go. We got our staking units for horizontal and vertical. May not need the vertical one, but in case we do, we got it. And then we've got all of our structure and our interior machinery and everything else. We've got generator power. We've got the lubrication for the wind turbines. The only thing I'm missing here is some regular fuel cells. I'm not gonna really worry about it. I'll be able to find them out there. We got a couple fuel cells to get us started, a sand crawler to put together, a couple more fuel cells, a buggy, a couple more fuel cells, and then a bunch of bodies for water, as well as some leader johns to kickstart us. Feeling really good. We're pretty well set. We are at 124 out of 150. We're only 2/3 out of the 1500. So if we wanted to bring extra stuff, we definitely could. Bring some thumpers if we wanted to, blah, blah, blah. When we go out to the deep desert, I will fly out with the carrier and the cargo container. Inside the cargo container is the crawler and the buggy, and I will also have my thruster scout in my pocket. So we're technically going out there with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vehicles all in one trip. It's crazy. Cargo container's incredible. When I land, I'll drop the cargo container off, and we will pick up a little bit of this and this, and we'll get our land parts set. We'll take these guys as well. We'll put this one down, and we'll see if we can get it set. If we can't, we'll make it go vertical. No, we definitely can. So once we get our base done, from that point, I'm going to grab a little bit of plastone and get maybe 5 or 6 foundations in a spot where I know I have a storage box, because it's kind of rough to build the entire base just by going back and forth to the cargo container itself. You want to be able to you want to be able to build some kind of storage box. Doesn't matter what size, the bigger the better, but it doesn't matter. because this way you can take all that stuff out of the cargo container and put it in here so that when you try to use it with your gun to build the base, you can do it, because this is a resource that you're pulling from for the base. When it's sitting in the cargo container, it's considered in a vehicle and it's not accessible. So you want to make sure that you build a couple plots of little land. Once you get used to the placement, you'll know where you've got some of these storage boxes. I know there's 2 corners that I can build that'll make that happen, and that's where I'll first set it up. We'll get that in there, and that helps me transfer things so much faster. And then from then on, it's just click, 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 click until the base is up and running. Shut up, lady. So there we are. Our base is fueled up. We've got filters, we've got water, we've got energy, we got fuel cells. We're set to go. We have the cargo container is filled, ready to roll. We're good. We're ready to make this happen. Well, unfortunately, we got to wait for the end of the storm. So the Coriolis storm, not this little piddly guy that's coming in right behind us. But yeah, set to go. Took about an hour to prepare for that. That, and we got a little bit yappy. Right over here at this trading post that we're looking at. This is the Crossroads. Zoe sells industrial pumps. You were asking about those earlier.
Sector weather alert. A large sandstorm is approaching.
You can buy 15 from her every day, but she's pricey. She likes the money. So it depends on how much Solara you've got as to whether or not you can get that. I currently, it's gonna be. Does anybody else have these kind of lag issues when the storm hits? Mine is terrible. Let's see, we got nothing really on us. We can make a run in Sentinel City. See just how many pumps we can get. I agree with a higher number. You might be missing some boxes. But unfortunately, we have a storm. That thing must have hit us dead center. We're zipping out here real quick because we are still on the lookout for crashed ships in the north of Shoal. Well, actually, I guess it's the south of Mesa Tyrell. Which we don't see any, and we'll eventually check over there, but let's head to Sentinel City. Looks like a little dinosaur, little Godzilla. Fuel will last longer, yeah. Right over there is the ship where we want to ship. Okay, go on. So the entrance I usually go in is this one, just because my base is right over there. So this is the entrance for me. Wherever you're coming from, you can enter it in. As long as you hit all the spots, it's fine. Thankfully, we just had a storm, so I don't have to worry about that too much. This is the route that I usually run when I do this. Am I getting all the chests? I think so. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll find out though. But we'll try to go a little slow and methodical. First thing we're going to do, normally I don't care, but we're going to murder all these people. was not ready for that extra lunge. Come here, you. There you go. And stab. Okay. So in this first area, I have looked through all of these, could not find anything. There's some fuel cells there if you want. It looks like there's spots like up here would be perfect for them. But the only place I've found in this whole area that has one is back here for some reason. Oh, we got 5. We'll take everything. Yeah, there's some medical stuff and things like that. I've spent quite a bit of time checking, and I've never found anything else except that one chest in this area. So if there's more, let me know. If not, some people might be surprised at that one back there. I did this several times, probably 20, 30 times before realizing that that box was back there. I usually just ran right through this like I didn't care. I don't see any up top here either. Looks like a possible. Nope, that's not a platform. Okay, so yeah, I think that's the only one, at least in this opening area. So from here, we just keep going straight on in. These guys are idiots, so that was a nice move there. He's like, "Holy cow! Did somebody shoot Bob?" Oh, no. Somebody shot Bob. Oh my gosh, we're just gonna stop doing that. We'll deal with them when they come down here. So in this area, I don't think there's anything here until you get up to this one on the right. They know I'm here and they're very angry. There's also one directly in front of us. Yay. Alright, I get a kill. Okay, I think everybody's dead. Alright, let's go back to the first one that we opened up. And that was this, well, the first one was down that way. But yep, so we got this one here. And then right across, we've got a chest over here. It could have some. Yeah, it does. This one's got 12 in it. That was cool. And that is, if I'm not mistaken, it. Yeah. Alright. We get that one. There's some spice residue and maybe some spice sand, I think. Yeah, in that guy, but it's not very much. I mean, it's more than 0, so. Come up here and there's a big empty room. And then you come in here and it's a little empty hallway. And then you come in here and it's another big empty room except for that chest right there. This is completely empty. Who said that? She's shooting at me. All right, up here on the left. Fortunately, that one didn't have any in it. See if we can kill this person. Boom. There's bad guys up there, but I think that's who's talking. All right, go up here. I haven't found anything that's exciting on these levels, but if you go up here and go right up here, get that mouthy person, and there's one right here. Again, we didn't have anything in it. It's a shame. Ooh, with a drill shot. Look at you. Alright, over here in the corner of the red room. We are not making out real well with the fuel pumps, though. Any one of these boxes could have one in it. This is just some healing stuff. Nothing exciting in here, but there is some good stuff in there. But we need a purple band. Guy just keeps stepping backwards. And now I'm over here stabbing things. Thanks. Big explosions. Do right here. And now we can come inside this. There's bullets in here. Darts if you need them. Pretty good quantity too. I think I'm a little low, yeah, on the light darts. Been using my shotgun way more than normal. Right here. Yep, we got 8 pumps there. And then there's a constellation chest. Doesn't necessarily have them in there. You can get a house burst shot if you want. I usually take those. Don't need the aluminum. This thing is a mission chest. It's always got like 50 Solari in it. And that's it for here. Oh. Gotta love Sentinel City. So at this point you could turn around. I've gotten 35. It's a pretty good haul. But there's more. But wait, there's more. We go up the stairs, and you get to...
Enemy spotted. We are under assault. Go to its attack. Empty.
Yeah. And there's no cats in this room at all, so I can't even blame them. Sorry. I have looked through this area, and I haven't found any other chests except for that one there, and then the one that's around this corner. But heading up this way, you get 3 more chests, 3 more chances. And you can get this one from the outside. Like if you're just flying by, you could stop, land, so you can grab these. They aren't too hard, there aren't too many enemies. And it keeps you out of the lag / glitchiness that you get from Sentinel City. Okay, so this is where we diverted. So we're going to head up here. We got Mr. Squatty Pants there. He had a friend. Oh, there they are. Nothing on this one, and there's nothing on this side, but this would be great places for them to put them if they ever decided to. And for this area, the only ones I found, I usually try to bypass these guys. There's one right here. No pumps. And then there's one over here. And no pumps. So we did not do well towards the end of this route. I've looked through this area, didn't really find too much. There could be one. I don't know. But that's the usual route that I do for Sentinel City. Ooh. It's not too bad. End result, 40. I've come out of here with like 50 something, 57 I think is the top number, but I also come out of here at like 30, 27. So we're starting to drop more pumps. Or there are other places you get pumps. Yeah, it would be nice. I mean, 40's great, but you know, you're going to have to go. It's 45 minutes, but let's just be realistic. You're going to have to go piss off for like an hour for these chests to respawn just to go get another 40. What I usually do is I will pair it up with buying them from Zoe over there in Crossroads. She'll sell you 15, so that would mean this would be 55. The other thing I like to do, since we like flying around now, is instead of running back through that catastrophe of a location, we're just going to fly around, because right up here is our copter. Who was that? Whoa! Still hurt my ankles. And we're gone. Goodbye, Sentinel City. You can get them from crashed ships. Not many. Every crashed ship should probably have like 1 or 2, maybe 4 at the most. Don't quote me on that, but you'll get more doing Sentinel City than you will looting a crashed ship. Deep Desert might be an option. See if we can find ourselves a crash ship. That would be nice. Ooh, there's a worm right there. Oh, you got a little flippy tail like a dolphin. I think that's a storm that went past earlier. So I don't believe that's something we have to worry too much about. But yeah, 2,000 hours, man. Few at every bloodsucker, I think. Recycling the pumps. Yeah, I usually forget about the validity of recycled Man, he's hauling ass. Oh. I think that will be... It's going to be shoals, so it's not something we have to hit, but I think this will be out of the radiation. Yeah, radiation wall's over there, right? Oh, we're close. All right, where you at? Only problem is getting to the point where you can access it. Oh, I wonder if I need that. No pumps. Got some machinery and a little bit of spice though. And we got ourselves a patrolling worm. Easy there, big fella. We're done. It's getting a little weird here tonight, folks. We're gonna go back home. Hey, friend. Not how I intended it, but you know what? It worked. Ooh, ooh. Just got my ass kicked by my own thopter. Good night. Zoe looked up. There you go.
Welcome back.
I'm here to trade. Aw. I was hoping that would have been awesome. Yeah, 2,500 for... I mean, it's quick and easy, but you can only do it once a day. And you will get to a certain point where you don't need them anymore. That's why I have so many, because I got to the point where I used all the pumps I needed for the wings that I need to fly, for the equipment that I use, and all the water tanks I wanted in my own base. So I just kept doing stuff that would get me water pumps, or industrial pumps. You can find them, I think, in deep desert shipwrecks. Crack ships, and obviously Sentinel City, and you can buy them from Zoe. Yeah, I have a lot of stuff just because I'm a pack rat, and I just keep everything. I don't understand why the light caliber compressors are twice as expensive. Also, I don't like the fact that 13, you hag, you withered hag. If I want one, it's 2,500. Terrible, terrible person. Anyway, folks, that's going to get us to the end of the stream. Wednesday, we'll be building our deep desert base. I'm not going to get you to the whole thing, but at least we'll get the final part of it, and I'll show you the scanning thing. And then we're going to go at it. What do we want? We want some spice melange, which has become tougher to get these days. The DVD. The PvP PvE split did open up an option for a lot of players who didn't go to the deep desert because of the PvP aspect. Even when it was half, they didn't want to go. And you know, if you're just not interested in PvP, I can understand why you wouldn't go. But what I've seen now, especially on a busy server, Odin is rather busy. What we have happening is, I was flying yesterday. I was out there doing the testing stations out in the deep desert to try to get the schematics I wanted. And I lifted up out of it, and just as I'm coming out, boom, spice bloom, and it was a large field. And I flew over to it. I saw it explode, It was less than 1 kilometer away from me. And by the time I got there were already 2 people on the ground compacting and another person inbound. And like the stuff was still in the air from the initial explosion. So you got to learn how to play nice. And that can be rough. For me, I have, let's get out of Zoe's menu here. I've got, a pair of soft step boots. So my worm threat is down -45. And I went and got the skill specializations to drop my worm threats, an extra 10 here and et cetera, et cetera. And I use a compact compactor, which is not as aggro. So I've done the things that keep me from aggroing worms, but that doesn't make a bit of difference if another player who shows up there is not. And I've seen instances where people will they just hit the ground and it's just machine gun fire, and that's the goal, to get as many shots into the ground before they aggro the worm. They jump in their chopper, they lift off, he goes away, they drop down and then pick them all up, rinse and repeat. And it can get a little chaotic. One good thing about that though is if you're more cautious about the way you do it, when the worm does come, it ain't coming after you, it's coming after him. So you've got extra time to get up and get out of the way. The only issue that could happen is if he spawns on you, or spawns close to you, and on the way to the guy that angered him is you. So that could be bad. But, when it comes down to it, we have to learn how to share. It was really bad at first. There would be like 30 people trying to harvest from a field, and that's just not going to work. But as we kind of calmed down and spread out and learned to live together in peace and harmony, it's not as bad as it used to be. And don't turn your nose up to a medium field or even a small. You're out there to get spice. Are you getting spice? Yes. Awesome. With my crawler, I've actually done small fields with the crawler. I've done it as testing and just, I left a field and was 500 short of a completely full container, and I'm like, I'll just hit a medium on the way out. Never saw one, but I did see a small. So anyway. But yeah, I have sand crawled small fields before. I've made my living mostly on mediums, but I will go to a large one. That's why we hooked up the controller to the PC, was because I want that slow speed. You need to have more than one large up at a time, along with more resource nodes in the PDB. The instances are so crowded in all the servers. We still only really use half the D map. That is actually an excellent point. The fact that it's one large field is purposefully gathering everybody together. And even if it was just 2, of course, maybe that turns spice into something that's a little too easy to get. I mean, it's not hard to get now, but abundance. But we do use a lot of it, so I would like to see more than one field. I would like to see them staggered. So, like, let's say the storm goes through right now, and oh, looks like you were missing a few. Good, awesome. Yeah, you should be able to get about 40 pumps. 40 is a good average. Maybe you'll get 37, maybe you'll get 45. There were a couple chests there that I got that didn't have it, but yeah, hopefully you can pull about 40 pumps or so. And if you're looking to build giant water tanks, that's what, 3? 2? Almost 3. Each time you run it, you can run it like for an hour. But yeah, I'd like to see the field staggered. Like, let's say the storm hit right now, and boop, you can log in. I would like to see a spice field blow right away, and then maybe 5 minutes later, another one blows, or 10 minutes later, another one blows. And then once a field gets cleared, the next one is prepping. And it just keeps doing that. I don't know, maybe it's too much to ask. I've had a couple instances where people have decided to take it upon themselves to tell me that I'm not allowed to crawl a medium field, or they come in and jump on the large field and just start messing with people, griefing, throwing thumpers down, trying to call bad things. It's part of the game, you know? It is what it is. It happens far less than good experiences, so I'm okay with it. Sometimes you meet a douchebag. There's nothing you can do about it except deal with it. If it bothers you that much, just go head out, log off, go do something else. Go get some plastanium. Give them time to spin themselves out, and then when they go away, you can go for it. But, yep. But yeah, okay, so Wednesday we'll finish setting up the base, and we'll start making our first couple runs. My plan is to combine just aero mining for strontium and titanium. I'm also going to hit the islands by just taking the buggy out with the carrier. And can you hear a thumper someone puts down? If you're close enough. Yeah, if you're close enough, you can hear it. You'll be able to see it as well. You'll see like just a little black, and then there's like a little dust puff. But they won't be able to sabotage you or try to get you eaten without you being able to A, see it, and B, hear it. Yep, wires, right? If it's near you. So yeah, you'll know when somebody's thumpering. You may not hear it if they throw their shield on, though. That's another way to aggro a worm. But if they do that, they're calling it to themselves. So you'll get the warning. But we're also going to take the buggy out to the islands so we can load up real heavy on some materials. We're going to try to hit as many mediums and as many large fields as we can. I'm interested in testing the controller so I can get the gauge speed. If you keep it around like 10 or so, like 8 to 10 kilometers per hour, when you're crawling, you'll be able to get every bit of it. One swipe cleans it completely up. If you go full speed 20, you'll have to go forward and back, which is what I always did because I didn't care to monitor my speed. It was just one of the things I had to pay attention to, and I didn't want to do that. But with the controller, I can gauge my speed and I can go half speed. So I'm excited to try that out. The other thing is there's quite a few schematics coming from the deep desert that I need to get. So we're going to be doing testing stations. We're going to be doing forgotten caves, and we're going to be doing shipwrecks. All of those have plastanium dust, which is also pretty valuable, as well as the schematics we're looking for, and some of the other materials you get, like the plasteel plates, the armor plating. Just some fancy stuff out there. So we're going to spend the whole week out there doing it, and we'll see how it goes. But thank you for tuning in, everybody. I really appreciate it. It was no problem doing the Sentinel City thing. Hopefully I went slow enough that you can actually see where the chests are. But yeah, hope that helps. And thank you, everybody, for watching so much. We're almost at 950. Like I said, we're going to be doing a super awesome elongated stream once we are close to the 1,000 mark. It's just a big thing as far as YouTube content creators goes when you get your first K. You take care as well, Wired. It's good seeing you, buddy. I hope everything's going good for you guys over there in Splinter. But yeah, I don't know when that's going to happen yet, and I thought about, as we're approaching it to do it, but then I don't want to be silly and stream for 12 hours waiting for something to happen. So, but I'll keep you guys posted. But yep, thank you so much for tuning in. I do appreciate it. And like, subscribe, share. Those things always help out the channel, helps us grow, and lets us keep doing what we're doing. And come Wednesday, we'll be out in the deep desert having all sorts of amazing and wondrous adventures. So thank you for tuning in, folks. And as always, I'll see you out there. Take care.